1, 2, 3, 4. I came across a drifting ship. I took a look inside. I found a note that someone wrote that said, take her for a ride. I set a course for sights unseen, went out to open sea. To my surprise, a bunch of sailors joined along with me. Now we're sailing on the mystery ship.
Hang on just a second. I realized the error of my ways. I had the wrong screen on. Let's just do that again. How about that? How about that? Let's start right here, the way the show is supposed to start.
4.
That's better.
I came across a drifting ship. I took a look inside. I found a note that someone wrote that said, take her for a ride. I set a course for sights unseen, went out to open sea. To my surprise, a bunch of sailors joined along with me. Now we're sailing on the mystery ship, and all the sailors here are really here. There isn't any constant membership. All that you gotta do is join our trip. Yeah, I'm the captain of the mystery ship, and I'm a-calling all aboard this trip. I'm really hoping that you'll enjoy it upon the mystery ship. So bring a friend and come along with us aboard the mystery ship.
All aboard that's coming aboard. All aboard that's coming aboard. Good evening, friends, sailors, newbies, whoever you are, wherever you are from. I welcome you. I welcome you aboard the mystery ship. Oh, looks like we're shy a couple of lights here. Hang on. And yes. It's the little things, people. It's the little things that you try to keep the show, solid. 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 See this little dinger on my nose? Can you see that? That's from this bell. I don't know what's going on with me, but I'm suffering. I am overtired. I've been doing a lot at work. A lot of things going on at my job. It is coming along just fast and furious. In fact, the client came by and literally stunned and amazed at how rapidly the job is progressing. And if I do say so myself, I'm a little impressed. I can't believe how well it's going. At the same time, because it's cruising along at a breakneck speed, your brother Zoe is doing 3 times the amount of work he does in a given week, including a lot of calculating, a lot of math, calculating roof heights and slopes and finding out how far columns must be, and then subtracting and adding and just all kinds of stuff. I have to do the math to calculate the height of steel columns. I have to calculate the ramps of concrete so that they don't go past the ADA standards for wheelchairs. There's just so many mathematical things. In fact, I spent a great portion of my day today at work, only because there's so much going on during the week that I can't get her done during the week. Somebody's got my shirt sleeve. Dude, can you come over here for a minute? Come here for a minute. I need you over here. Dude, we have a little problem over here. So, I woke up last night about 1:45. And I just tossed, and I turned, and I tossed, and I turned, and couldn't find my earbuds, and I wanted to watch a little foxhole, so I came out here to the garage and, turned on the heater. It was freaking cold last night. Freaking cold. We had ourselves some snow. We had some snow last night, or yesterday morning. And your brother Zoe... Anyway, I come out here, and I wanted to just watch a few minutes of Foxhole. Maybe doing that would put me back to sleep, and I was not paying attention. I went over to get something, and I went to get up out of my chair, and I hit this bell. Bong. I mean, I felt like Quasimodo. I felt like freaking Quasimodo. I rang my own bell. I did a hell of a job, too. It's crazy. Pretty crazy. Woke myself right up after that. All right, let's take a quick peek at the channels just to make sure we are, let's make sure we are up and running everywhere, shall we? Why not? Why not? Let's make sure we're up and running everywhere we're supposed to be. Over at Twitch, it does appear we are twitching. We are twitching that itch at Twitch. That's good. That's good. Whoops, that's not good. That's not good. I'm going to go there. Let's go over to the home of the champions. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, we're live. We're live over at DLive. That's wonderful. Are we live at YouTube? Are we live at YouTube? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, we are. Hey, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. Good to see you over there, YouTubers. How about at Rumble? Oh, it appears we're all rumbling. Indeed, we are. Indeed, we are. It says there's two watching. Whoever you are, I freaking love you. There'll be more of you. Don't worry. Just hang in there. And what about the home of free speech in America? And by free speech, I'm talking this is a place where you can say anything you want and show anything you want, unrestricted, unbridled. I'm talking about the home of the Mats, okay? I'm talking about Pilled Foxhole. If you haven't had the pleasure, I invite you. I invite you to take a minute out of your life. Go to pilled.net. Start a free account. Once you have done that, doesn't cost a nickel. All it costs you is an email address. Then you can go over to thefoxhole.app and watch the show there. From the Foxhole, you can create your own stickers. You're not a slave to anybody. You own the joint. You stroll in like you own the joint. I think Foxhole is one of the most amazing platforms out there. God bless them for what they're doing over there. My face rings a bell. You're funny, Starface. You a funny, funny man. Funny. You a funny man. Oh, my lordy. I did wake up to a little snow yesterday morning. We did. It was a cold. It was a cold day. What is going on with this? What's going on here? It was a cold morning, but it was a morning nonetheless. And I don't know. Our first snow of the season. First snow of the season. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. You know, if this keeps up, it could snow. It could snow. It's kind of funny because they always fear porn us, you know, oh, snow this weekend. By God, it always is kind of interesting when it actually does happen. I guess it happened. It's snowing. I like a good snow. I really do. It's, you know, it's so pretty. It's so quiet. An hour after that, I took the Lincoln into town to buy a few supplies because honestly, I wasn't sure if it was going to snow all day. Yeah, by the looks of it in the video, it looked like the kind of day where it was just going to snow and snow and snow. And they predicted snow for the next 4 days. Of course, it was all gone by noon, and it was a beautiful sunny day out, and a nice day. And a nice day. As I mentioned, I went into work today and just, you know what? Sometimes it just feels good. Sometimes it just feels good to go in and get some stuff off your plate. The stuff you... Why? The stuff that you... It's like a monkey on your back. You just got to get rid of it. By God, I did. I did. And it felt exactly as I said. It freaking felt good. Felt good. Sent off some letters to the architect, the civil engineer, my office. Got everything in perspective. I got to tell you, it freaking feels good. It feels good to be going into Monday morning, not behind the 8-ball. All right, let's say some hellos around the joint because it's been a few minutes. People are starting to pour in here and there. I must interject briefly. I had a wonderful time tonight watching Three Beer Men and their show on bobbleheads. Great thing. You know, my brother Frank, somebody made him his own custom bobblehead. Looks exactly like him. I mean, down to the 5 o'clock shadow and the drumsticks in his hand, the headphones on. The next time you're watching, quite frankly, look on Frank's desk, right next to the lava lamps. There is a freaking bobblehead that it is a freaking work of art. I don't know who the guy is that created it, but God dang, I would love a Zoso bobblehead. I really would. Freaking cool. Freaking cool stuff. Let's say some hellos. Cosmic Grandpa, speaking of the devil himself, good to see you, my friend. Wonderful to have you aboard. Sheeple is here. Sheeple beware. Sheeple beware. I'm where? Bad Zoot is in the house. Good to see you, little lady. Deus Volt, what is going on? Black Cat. That is a great sticker. That is a fabulous sticker, Black Cat. Holy crap. That, I might have to steal that. In fact, I'm going to. Spudley in the house. Always a pleasure to have Spud. I sent a quick note over to Spud and Mrs. Spud the other day, just thanking them for joining me on New Year's, because they're such wonderful people, and they were great. They were freaking fabulous. That's going to have to be an annual thing. The Spuds and the Zosos welcoming in the new year at midnight, Pacific Coast time. Mud Wabbit, she's back, ladies and gentlemen. Mud Wabbit is back at D-Live, the champions. Home of the champions. This month's champions. Peggy Dancer's with us. Hey, darling. How are you doing? Gloria Paddock. What more can I say? Good to see you. Just a Girl is in the house blowing smoke rings. You have my attention. Yes, you do. Val Kimber, what is going on, my brother? Good to see you. Good to have you along for the ride. Yes. Lynn Winters, how you doing, little lady? How's everything in Clovis? Hope your world is good. Well, we've got a bunch of our friends hanging out at D-Live. Artist61 is with us. Steph, great to see you. Thank you also for joining me on New Year's. It was wonderful to have you aboard. You were great. Great. We've got a bunch of wonderful sailors. Jayla17 is there. Lieutenant Cooker. See? I didn't miss anybody. You thought I was going to, but I didn't. Thank you, Black Cat, for the lemon. The lemon love over there. Very nice of you. Very nice indeed. Let's wander over to the home of free speech in America. And I am talking about Bill Foxhole. Due Diligence in the house came sailing in the SS Foxhole. You can't miss it. It's 5 feet long, and it is bitchin'. Sigurd, the Dragon Slayer, drinking out of his new Mambo mug. I know he is. I know that he is. Val Hall is with us. Good to see you. Val is, she's got the reins tonight. JoJo called in. She's a little under the weather, not feeling good. So, Val, it's up to you, baby. It's up to you. Judy, the lady pug. How are you doing, darling? Oh, it's wonderful to see you. Wonderful to have you aboard. Hope everything is beautiful in Florida. Holy smokes, Due Diligence came in with the fleet. Oh, my brother, thank you kindly. Thank you kindly. Holy smokes. Salty Nuts is in the house. Folks, Salty has a new channel. But besides the Salty Nuts regular show, he's got, much like Sloan, and much like, quite frankly, there is now such an entity as Salty Nuts TV. I encourage you to go and check out the programming over there. If you aren't enlightened, well, then the lights are on, but nobody's home. Sean Joe, good to see you, my man. Great to have you aboard. Thank you also for your support of this program. You're just freaking amazing. Starface 15, my dear brother, right to the south. Probably the closest sailor to where I live. I'm fairly certain Starface is my closest neighbor. Shepherding Shepherd, ahoy. He's looking for a good time. Ladies, can you help him out? Zoomer in the house. Good to see you, buddy. War Eagle. War Eagle, nice to see you with us. Kristen Hudson, always a pleasure, little lady. Empress Bitch to you. Thank you so much for the car. I love it. I love it. Prominently displayed over my shoulder. Good to have you aboard. Good to have you aboard. This is wonderful. We've got a bunch of great folks hanging out tonight at Build Foxhole. I welcome you all. Wait, impeach them all. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Girl Patriot. And she came in spreading the GP love. She's got pills spread all over the ground. I got to shout out because out of nowhere, this thing just, Sean Joe, due diligence with the fleet, due diligence with the ship, due diligence with the fleet. Holy Hannah, brother. I want you to, I love you, man. That is beautiful. Hang on to some of that, okay? You're gonna need gas in the tank next week. Thank you, Double D. You are a beautiful, beautiful man. You would give away the world. You do give away the world. Thank you, my man. Thank you so much. Wow. I'm humbled. I'm humbled. Truly. Let's check in at YouTube, where we've got tubers. Dark Brain is over there. Mud Rabbit is checking in. Gloria Paddock over there spreading the love. Let's Go Brandon in the house. Sir Nasty Nate. How are you doing? Wonderful to see all of you over there. It says that there are 12 watching. That means we've got a bunch of lurkers. You lurkers? I love you. Thanks for lurking on the mystery ship. One more peek over at Rumble. Okay, says there's 12 watching over there. So you 12 Rumblers, here's my salute to you. Welcome aboard the mystery ship. One quick peek over at Twitch, shall we? Kufu15, I'm got to say hello. Hello at KHUFU 15. My friend, it is a pleasure to have you aboard the mystery ship over there on Rumble. Excuse me, on Twitch. Thank you for hanging out over there. Beautiful picture on Twitch. Absolutely beautiful picture. You can see all the way from the Harley Davidson right on over to Duska's eyeballs. Fabulous. Fabulous. Really good. And I have got a good upload speed tonight. I'm feeling positive about tonight. I have a very, very interesting topic tonight. Those of you who watch this program with any regularity know that I love history. I love history. I said it 2 nights ago. There's an old aphorism that says, well, I'm going to paraphrase, but those who don't remember their history are doomed to repeat it. Seriously. There is so much to be learned, and the bigger thing is the history that we have been taught is so tainted. So tainted. Living here in Oregon as I do, I've often been fascinated with the travels of Lewis and Clark. You know, just can you imagine? Can you imagine what it would have been like to take a canoe and a handful of people and cross the country and explore and report back to the president what it is you found in this beautiful country? Can you imagine being in Lewis and Clark's camp? It must have been breathtaking. Breathtaking. I'm enamored. It's so romantic to me. The vision of going out west, the millions of buffalo, seeing this country in its pristine state before we fucked it all up. You know, seriously. Tonight, folks, we're going to be looking at the Oregon Trail. You know, we've been taught an awful lot about the Oregon Trail, and let me get back over to D-Live for a second. Cosmac, you're there, right? You have died of dysentery. That you answered my question. You answered my question. one of the first back in the Commodore PC days, one of the first games that you could play and I'm talking when there were no graphics, okay? I mean, there were very, very mild graphics, but there was a game you could play called The Oregon Trail. And it was very popular. Just about everybody who's anybody in the computer world probably played it at one time. Cosmic Grandpa has already answered my question. I was going to ask if he knew about it. He has already quoted one of the lines. But tonight, folks, we're going to be taking a look at what it was probably really like to go across that 2,170-mile trek with covered wagons and the whole 9 yards. Because the truth is, a lot of the history and a lot of the crap that we see on TV, the movies, all that, with Fred McMurray. Anybody remember that one? It's all freaking garbage, people. They didn't have the fringe jackets. Kit Carson didn't look like the guy from Easy Rider. Okay, no, anything but. These were a hardy people. These were a people who were driven. It's amazing. It is truly amazing. I have been studying the subject. Actually, I've been listening to a book on tape, which was the impetus for tonight's program. I'm excited about tonight. I hope that you are too. Welcome all of the channels. Pilled Foxhole, thank you for being here. Rumble, wonderful to have you aboard. YouTubers, freaking love you over there. Norma is lurking. So good to see you lurking. I know how you lurk. Over there at Twitch, thank you for joining us, Kufu. And, of course, the wonderful D-Livers. Welcome, my friends. My name is D, is now with us. Amethyst Cat has snuck in. Alamdar, 112001. Welcome, my friend. You guys, Lulu Christo. Great to have you all aboard. Thank you for joining me this evening. We're going to have a very interesting time. We are. In the meantime, I have a small, and I mean small, thousands of screaming women can't be wrong. I have a small bit of videotape right here to share with you. And immediately following this, we're going to launch into tonight's topic. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. I'm so glad you're here. This is your moment. Use the restroom. Take the dog out. Refill your drink. Refresh your drink. Whatever you got to do. Pour yourself a cold one. We'll be back right after this.
Do we sail upon the mystery ship? 'Cause we never know where we'll go next.
This is where I take a brief moment to thank the wonderful people who have decided to check in and watch the show tonight. Thanks for being here. One of the greatest ways that you can help this show doesn't cost a penny. I mean, my extreme thanks goes out to those of you who like to share lemons and gold pills. God bless you. God bless you for keeping this show afloat. You're wonderful. And I do get surprises in my PayPal, in my Cash App, in my Buy Me a Coffee. You guys are freaking wonderful. But truthfully, one of the best ways you can help a fledgling little show like this is just to tell a friend or a neighbor, somebody over the water cooler at work. Perhaps put it on your Facebook or something like that. There's this crazy hippie biker guy. You ought to watch his show. You never know what he's going to talk about next. I enjoy doing this. It's a wonderful break for me. The people that I have met in this audience are phenomenal. And I think one of the things that makes me slightly different than other content creators is I go out and meet the people who watch this show. All of these names in all of these different chats on all these different platforms. Every summer I get on my Harley Davidson, I ride around the country, and I meet these people. Sometimes I bring gifts, thanks for watching the show. We are like a tight-knit family, and I love you guys. You are the show. I'm just the guy who turns it on. We are all the show. And your comments in the chat are second to none. You keep me on the edge of my seat. You do. You keep me on the edge of my seat. I see that Abe must also have been. Abe Sinclair is checking in over at YouTube. He's also saying that both his oxen have died, and he thinks he has dysentery. Are you sure it's not cholera? You might hope for cholera, Abe. Seriously. Anyway, folks, think about it. Think about the quest. In 1861, when Abe Lincoln signed the Homestead Act, which basically said, if you want to take your ass out west, you can have 160 acres free for nothing from Uncle Sam as long as you will grow some food on it. Now, that's a pretty good offer. I wish Uncle Sam was giving that shit away today. Can you imagine the takers? I mean, the fact is, there's still a lot of land out there that we could be helping ourselves to. But the truth of the matter is, for at least 20 years before the Homestead Act, as early as 1840, wagon trains were heading out, following the trail blazed by Lewis and Clark, looking for the promised land. They were probably tired of living in cities like New York and Chicago. They wanted opportunity. And I'll tell you what's amazing. I work with I have some friends who have the last name of McKee, the McKee family. There are three guys that I know that are either cousins or brothers, and a mere 8 miles from here, right down the road, outside of Jacksonville, Oregon, a stone's throw from right where I'm sitting, is the McKee Bridge, which crosses pretty sizable creek just outside of Rouge. Now, the McKee Bridge is about 10 miles from the mountain right over here that I am broadcasting to. I don't have a regular internet here. I'm not going over a wire. I'm going over radio waves. I have an unusual radio satellite on my house, and it talks to a mountaintop over here. And that mountaintop was named after one of the McKees. So that tells you right there that at one time, the McKee family pretty much owned where I live, which is called the Rogue Valley. It turns out that his great-grandfather, my friend Doug McKee, his great-grandfather homesteaded this entire area. That was their 160 acres. It is now a thriving metropolis with freeways, 6 or 7, maybe 10 different little cities. Not cities, towns, one big city, a bunch of little teeny tiny towns, but they homesteaded it. Somebody in his family took the Oregon Trail and came and established a new life for themselves, braving incredible odds. Incredible odds. 1 out of every 10 people that set out on the Oregon Trail didn't make it. They didn't make it. And despite what all the pictures and your history books and all that crap might tell you, we didn't go across this country in Conestoga wagons. That's not how it happened. Let me see if I can pull up some photos here for you. Where are they? Here we go. So, a Conestoga wagon. Come on now. Here we go. Have a look at this. This is a fairly modern picture. To this day, folks, you can still see the trails that settlers used crossing this country through the sagebrush, all the crap that they had to put up with. These people must have been amazing. All of the stories that you've seen in movies and all that, and I'll be honest with you, the history. I loved American history in school. I read all kinds of books, even fiction. I loved it. Any stories regarding people like Daniel Boone, Kit Carson, all of them, that appealed to me. I remember one of my favorite books, I did a book report on it when in the 4th grade, was called Winter Danger by William O. Steele. It told the story of a young kid, like a 14-year-old kid, and his going with his uncle across the country, killing buffalo and stuff like that. I was so taken by this. I was ecstatic when I got my first fringed jacket, my first suede fringed jacket, like Daniel Boone. Well, supposedly like Daniel Boone. Folks, that's probably not how it happened. The truth is, most settlers, when they went across the country, had typically three pairs of clothes, okay? That's about all that they could bring with them. When you left the East, heading for the West, people very, very quickly found out that your wagon needed to carry only the essentials. And the people who made the trip on the Oregon Trail, the people who traversed this country, are not that dissimilar from the throngs coming up through South America, walking to America right now. Very much like that, except there weren't any porta potties, and when they got to the promised land, when they made it all the way to Oregon, there wasn't somebody there with a cell phone and an ATM card with $3,500 on it, and someone saying sign here and here's your health care, and oh, by the way, here's a free home. No, it wasn't anything like that. It wasn't anything like that. Along the Oregon Trail, for years, you could find all kinds of great stuff. People learned very quickly that all you needed were the bare essentials. You needed the bare essentials to get across the country, which was clothes, food, and ammo. Those were the three things you needed: clothes, food, and ammo. Anything else was really not unnecessary, and people ditched a lot of good stuff along the way. Some people got a wagon, got it all set up, had all their hopes and dreams inside that wagon, like beds and cast iron stoves, and man, they ditched that shit so quickly, because the oxen, or whatever animal you chose to pull your wagon, they worked their asses off. Now, some people tried to use horses. A lot of people used donkeys. But it turns out that of all the draft animals you might use to tow your wagon, oxen were about the best choice. And the reason is they could eat just about freaking anything, from sagebrush to whatever. Oxen could handle it. Horses they could eat the wrong shit and freaking die. And mules, although they were very fast, you were only as fast as your neighbor, because people got together in quote-unquote wagon trains. I've got some pictures of wagon trains here. Yep. Oh, yes, here we go. Here's a picture of a wagon train. This is probably what it looked like, okay? Some people had oxen, some people had horses, but for the most part, you walked alongside. And only your goods went inside. This picture right here of people riding inside of the covered wagon, highly unlikely. Conestoga wagons, which you see in museums and the such, they were enormous. Those things were big, giant, heavy. It took like a team of 8 horses to pull those things. Only the filthy, filthy rich brought a Conestoga wagon, because there were times to get over a mountain, you had to take everything out of your wagon and have 8, 10, 12 people push the wagon, assisting the oxen in getting it up over the hill. Then you had to walk back and carry all of your shit back and put it back in the wagon. Talk about working your ass off to make it to your new wild dreams, folks. These people worked their asses off to get what they got. It was to say that it was challenging is an understatement, and I really wish someone would make a realistic movie of what it must have been like to go across the Oregon Trail, because dead bodies were a regular sight. Trash and dead bodies were as common as the sun coming up in the morning and the moon coming out at night. In fact, some of the trails were so rutted that they buried the dead bodies in the roadway and covered them with stones to level out the road for the other carts coming behind them. It was, Bruce Crew Wayne says, reminds me of the video game, The Oregon Trail. We were talking about that earlier, Bruce. Amazing. Just an amazing thing. So the more desirable wagon was probably just your standard, like 4-foot by 10-foot wagon that you might have on your farm for spreading manure, for bringing in crops, for bringing out your seed to your property. Tiny, small wagons. 4 by 10 there were there were wagons known as prairie schooners that were pretty much built exactly for the challenge. They were light, they were sturdy, they were the wood was reinforced with metal, but they were still heavy. They weighed about 1,400 pounds, which is, and then you load it up with all of your supplies. You can imagine trying to push a 1-ton wagon loaded down up and over a mountaintop in the Rocky Mountains. It had to be insane. It had to be insane. They learned that there was safety in numbers. That's why people going west, they were known as overlanders. That's what they called themselves. They would hitch together in large groups, sometimes 100, sometimes 500. One of the biggest ever was a group of 2,000 wagons in 1843. 2,000 wagons. They had soldiers leading the way. There were scouts. Some of the earlier treks were pretty well organized, to be honest with you. And one of the largest misunderstandings was about the Native Americans. Okay, this is we are taught in school, and you've seen it in every Hollywood movie, how the Native Americans were they were talked about as savages, the savages. The truth of the matter is, and there's a book I'm reading right now. Let me see if I can share that. Is it here? Yes. This one right here. A very, very interesting book. Let me shrink this down for you. The Oregon Trail by Rinker Buck. Let me shrink it just a little bit more. There we go. The Oregon Trail by Rinker Buck. This man put a ton of research into this book. It is really, really fascinating. That's what made it a New York Times bestseller. If you're ready for your next book on tape, give that one a run up the flagpole. If you like American history, I think your eyes will be opened. But this man did a lot of research, and reading people's diaries and newspapers from the time. He was able to put together some pretty strong numbers, evidencing his ideas. So the Indians that the settlers would run into were typically, they were the Sioux, the Cheyenne, Comanche, Arapaho. Okay, well, I've got some photos. Of them. Let's come here. Come with me. Actual photos of these wonderful people. Oh, don't tell me. Did I close out the freaking... Did I now? You're off to a good start, so. Off to a good start. I just closed the page that I needed. Unfortunately, I'm still signed into Gmail, so let me pull up my Gmail again, and I'm going to show you photos of the Indians that... These are the typical Indians that the settlers might have run into on their journey west. Okay. Right here. Is that it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Beautiful. Let's bring this over here. This man is a Sioux Indian. This one here, these are Comanche, right here, Comanche. And then you have the Arapaho, okay? Very helpful to the settlers. Between 1840 and 1860, those three tribes in particular, I don't want to shortchange anybody, along with the Shoshone, the Paulry, and the Sioux, those seven tribes were pros. They were pros at fording rivers, and they were very, very helpful to the settlers in moving their wagons across large rivers. So the idea that the minute you saw an Indian, you had to shoot and kill him was just absolute horseshit. The Indians, in fact, saved many of the settlers. They would trade food, which was the number one thing that the settlers needed, food. They would trade food with the settlers for little things like mirrors. The Indians were fascinated with mirrors. They found them just trinkets like that. Guns and tools, steel tools, were also items that the Indians were very into trading. But the fact is, the settlers hired these different groups of Indians to help them, assist them, guide them as scouts, learn how to skin buffalo and get the meat off of them. And the truth is that for the first, there was about a 40-year period from 1840 to 1880 that people were crossing the Oregon Trail. It was only the last 20 years when problems arose. And that basically the problems arose from the fact that the word got back and, imagine if you've lived in a place your whole life and there's abundance. There's abundance. The Native Americans lived in a pristine land with tons of buffalo. There was tons of food. Everything they needed was right there. They didn't overfish. They didn't overhunt. They merely took what they needed to survive. And the white man came in and not only left his trash along a trail for 2,000 miles, but slaughtered everything in sight. Slaughtered everything in sight. And although the Indians and the white man actually had a good relationship for about the first 20, 30 years of crossing the Oregon Trail, the last 20 years got strained. Relations got strained to the point where in some areas, particularly here in Oregon, at the end of the trail, some Indians did declare war on the settlers when they saw them. But the idea that it was just manslaughter and that they were all savages and that all we did, the Whitey did, is come in and mow them down, is just absolute horse shit. Okay? I'm sorry. It's just not the truth. I love the truth. The truth stands all by itself. All by itself. That man, Rinker Buck, in his book, The Oregon Trail, he did an awful lot of research, read a lot of people's diaries from the time, amassed a lot of interesting information. Get that book if you get a chance. There's another gentleman. Let's see. His name is John Unruh. John Unruh. John Unruh also wrote a book Oh, Lordy, I've done it again. John Unruh wrote a book entitled, where is it? Where is it? It's called The Plains Across. The Plains Across. This man actually put numbers together, and from what he could ascertain, during the Americans traveling west on the highway, the highway to the new land, the Oregon Trail, about 352 pioneers lost their lives to the Indians, okay? 352 pioneers were killed. On the flip side of that, approximately 426 Native Americans were killed. These are the actual numbers put together historically by stuff that was written down. These are numbers that you can actually take to the bank, all right? It's amazing how Hollywood or perhaps someone's agenda can take history and facts and just twist it into ridiculous garbage. John Unruh, The Plains Across, another very, very interesting book about the Oregon Trail. Greed. Greed was part of the problem. There would be fights among the settlers. There was a bunch of ways for you to die going across country. As Abe pointed out and as Cosmic Grandpa pointed out, there were a number of diseases that could take your life. Dysentery, cholera. These were the big ones. Cholera was... So, if you were drinking dirty water, if you were drinking water that animals had defecated in or water was stagnant, the crazy thing is that if these people had only boiled the water, like 90% of these deaths could have probably been avoided. But we didn't know then what we know now. And cholera would come on you like you would have bloody diarrhea in the morning, and you'd be dead by dinner. You'd be dead by dinner. God Almighty. Not a good time. Not a freaking good time. The challenges that these people faced were more than just illnesses, more than just supposedly savages. Okay, the biggest problem that they came across was their animals getting tired and just giving up. Oxen, when they would die, how are you gonna move your wagon? How are you gonna pull your wagon when your draft animals are dead? The only way to do it is by human beings. Get a bunch of humans to pull your freaking wagon until you might find the next trading post where you will find very, very overpriced animals, and Lord knows what kind of shape those animals were in. Okay? Kind of crazy, kind of ridiculous, but sometimes they got you by the short ones, and you don't have any choice but to go for it. So that was a big deal. A great many people traded away all the things that they held dear to them just to be able to complete their journey. You know, all of the kitchen cooking equipment, the stuff that they really, really needed to survive went by the wayside if it meant not making it. Making it was everything. There was a couple of other really challenging things to this. You couldn't leave too late in the spring. You couldn't leave too early in the spring to like get a jump on it. because there might not be enough grass for your animals to graze upon. At the same time, if you left too late in the season, if you got too late of a start, by the time you got towards the end of the trail, not only was all the grass gone, but you might end up freezing your ass off if you didn't make it. You know how today we see tagging all over train cars and freeway overpasses and all of that? Well, you know, man just repeats his dirty little mistakes. The settlers used to carve their names in trees and chisel their names into rocks along the way. Many of these are still available to see today. A very, very famous rock in Casper, Wyoming, called Independence Rock, is this massive boulder. In fact, let me see if I can pull up a picture. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of Independence Rock. There she is. Come on, open up. Oh, for God's sakes. Images. Images. Here we go. Here we go. This is Independence Rock in Casper, Wyoming. The reason it's called Independence Rock is you wanted to reach this rock by the 4th of July. If you made it to this rock in Casper, Wyoming by the 4th of July, odds were you were going to make it. You were going to make it to the promised land in time, and you wouldn't get stuck by a harsh winter. To this day, you can still go to the base of this rock and see hundreds and hundreds of names chiseled into this rock for all time. I'd like to. That's one of my bucket list items. I would like to ride out. I would like to ride out to Independence Rock and take some pictures of those names. I've seen pictures. You know, John Smith, 1850. I love shit like this. Absolutely love stuff like this. We talked about safety in numbers, and there were times that the settlers would get attacked, but typically, these guys had a regimen. They were up at 5 a.m. Like gunshots would go off, and people would start getting up first thing in the morning about 5 a.m. By 6 o'clock, they've rounded up everybody has found their animals that they turned loose to graze and brought them back over to their carts. The women were cooking breakfast, and usually you were on the road by 7 a.m. And if you were lucky, you might get in a 15-mile day on average. And they normally called it a day about 5 p.m. in the afternoon. By 5 in the afternoon, they did the same thing they did every day. They had dinner together. There was music and fellowship, and artists would sketch. That's where a great many of the photos or images that we have to this day of the Oregon Trail, many of them came from sketch artists who just drew what they saw. A small handful of photographers did make the trip, and we do have some wonderful photos, although they're very small in number. Let's see if I have one here. Well, there's a lot of artists' conceptions. Here's one. Here's one drawn by I can't. I had the artist's name. Hang on, it's down in the corner. What the hell's his name? Oh, damn it! I just can't read it. I just can't read it. But this is what you might see. This is what you might see at the end of the day when people are calling it a party. Hey, everyone gather together for an artist sketch. Pretty crazy stuff. Hang on a second. I gotta find something. I'm looking for a particular picture. Come on. Spit it out. There we go. Work with me now. Work with me, Google. Okay, great. No, wrong email. Wrong email. I want this one. All right, this is a real photograph. This is a real photograph. Come on. Son of a bitch. Come on. Oh, my computer is so darned slow. It's so slow. This is a real photograph right here taken by... Taken by a photographer at the time from a bluff above his camp. That is a real photo. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 wagons. 12 wagons in this group right here. Kind of a small, there we go. Thank you. Thank you, Google, for finally getting your shit together. Man, it just looks rough. It looks rough to me. You know, I'm a guy who works outside and I work with my hands and, you know, a carpenter. You think that a moment like this might have been exciting or something that a guy might want to do. Man, I don't know. I don't know if I would have been up for that challenge. I really don't. They must have been an extraordinary people. They must have had balls of steel. We talked about a number of the ways that you could die. Diseases. Dysentery, cholera, smallpox, and Rocky Mountain fever. Those were the four that could kill you naturally. However, some of the greatest deaths occurred from people trying to push their wagons over ruts and falling down and getting run over by wagons. This happened all the time. Guns accidentally discharging. A great many settlers died that way. I guess as compared to dysentery or cholera, that might have been the easy way to go. A lot of children made the trek. Children were put to work. If they were over 5 years old, man, they had a freaking chore. They didn't just ride along in the wagon. Pretty much everybody walked. Everybody freaking walked the 2,100 miles. Insane. Some of the staples that people would eat. When you're walking that far, You need a lot of calories. You need they weren't so much concerned about health food back then, right? They just wanted to survive. Staples that you would keep in your wagon included bacon because it could last indefinitely. They'd salt the crap out of it. Flour, sugar, dried fruit, rice was very big. Of course, coffee and tea; those were staple. Whiskey. Whiskey was apparently one of the most sought after things on the Oregon Trail. Man, can you imagine if you were a whiskey trader? You could have made a killing. You could have made a freaking killing. You could have made a freaking killing. We talked about the fact that the Indians actually were friendly, not savages as we've been told. Oh, dang it. One in 10 never made it. Yeah, these are the different ways people do. Did I mention measles? I did. Yes. Yeah, of all of the diseases that could have taken you out, cholera would be the one, that would be the way you wouldn't want to go, people. That's not the way. That's not the way I would want to go. Now, to this day, there are museums. There are museums that you can go to where you can see what all we have left of the settlers and their goods. There's two very good ones. Let me show you this one right here. This is in Baker City, Oregon. Baker City, Oregon. The end of the Oregon Trail. This is a historic site where they have got some wagons, real wagons that made it. They've got very small examples of some of the clothing that the people had. And there is another wonderful museum. It's called the National, where is it? In Oregon City? In Oregon City. The National Historic Oregon Trail Interpretive Center, where they actually have hands-on examples. You can go, you can take your kids there, and you can do things like split firewood or take shots at buffalo. Not real buffalo, of course, but simulated. You can actually participate in what it must have been like to have been one of the people who took the Oregon Trail. I gotta say, when I listen to this guy's book at night and this book on tape, the more I listen, the more I wonder. Even when I was like in my freaking prime, like 30 years old, built like a brick shit house, man, I wonder if I would have been up for that challenge. I mean, the reward on the other end was enormous. 160 acres to call your own, and all you got to do is grow some food on it. And then, of course, 1849, when the news of gold, there's gold in them thar hills, and of course then they hit silver, the mother lode over in Nevada. I mean, there were so many reasons to go west, young man. I have to say, what an amazing history this country has. And what bugs me the most is just the way that it is depicted in the history books. God forbid, in the movies, they glorify all the wrong things. They They portray all the wrong things, like they portray the Native Americans as savages, that, you know. When it's so different than real history, it kind of bugs the crap out of me. I wish, much like Mel Gibson sought out to do an accurate portrayal in The Passion of the Christ, I would love for somebody to do an actual portrayal of the Oregon Trail, starting with Lewis and Clark, you know, and going maybe over a 40-year period of time, you know, from the first wagon trains of the 1840s to up to where Lincoln, you know, passed the Homestead Act, where you were guaranteed 160 acres if you just grew food on it. Can you imagine a film that would do justice to that? What a story. What a freaking story to tell. It pains me that our history is so tainted. So tainted. All right, I got to make some adjustments here. I got a heater blasting right at me that I've got to turn off because it's killing me. In the meantime, I'll play a short video for you. What do I have? I've got this one right here.
Hello, Foxhole. How y'all doing, fam? Good to see you. Hanging out with Zoso Dude. You know who he is. You wouldn't be seeing this right now. So, cheers to you, my friends. Uncle Krusty says hello. Peace out.
Hi, this is Judy the Lady Pug, and you're watching Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
This is Tanette Booth, and you are watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
This is Salty and Nuts, and you're watching Zoso Dude on The Mystery Ship.
This is a biblicist, and most likely you're going to hell, but not if you watch The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
Right. This is Ryan, our Cloaked Unseen World, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
Hey, this is Leonard with The Shit Show, and you're watching The Mystery Ship and Zoso Dude 77. Enjoy.
This is Dream Addicts from LJ, Georgia, and you're on The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77.
Hi, everybody. This is Vicki Holyfield, and you are watching Zoso Dude 77 on The Mystery Ship.
This is Friendly Gator from St. Petersburg, Florida, and you're on board The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77.
Hi, it's Joelaine, and we're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
This is Gloria Paddock, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77.
Hey guys, this is Bruce Q. Wayne, aka the Batman from Three Beermen, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with our good captain, Zoso Dude.
This is Andy Girl 13, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
Hi, this is Susan Danielle, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77.
This is your brother Belushi, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77.
Hi, this is Carrie Lake from St. Pete, Florida, and you're watching Zoso Dude 77, The Mystery Ship.
You're hanging out on The Mystery Ship with our captain, the Zoso Dude.
Hey, it's M1911 Zoom, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
I'm Neoma.
And I'm Neo. And you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77.
I'm EO2 Dave, and you're watching Zoso Dude 77 on The Mystery Ship.
This is Barefoot Patriotess from Tampa, Florida, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77.
This is Rob, aka Syllabore, and you are watching Zoso Dude 77 on The Mystery Ship.
Welcome aboard The Mystery Ship.
Where we go one, we go all.
A fine group of sailors. Some of the just a small handful of some of the people I have met in my adventures across the country on my Harley Davidson. I look forward to doing that each and every summer, meeting the people who watch this show. They are wonderful. They are wonderful. I'm going to probably be knocking off a little early. It has been a really trying little bit of a weekend. I'm really hoping for a decent night's sleep tonight. I believe in the power of your mind. I truly believe in the power of your mind. For the last 2 days, I kind of feel like I might be coming down with something. And the thing is, I never get sick. I only get sick like once every 5 or 7 years. I'll finally succumb to a cold or a flu. I truly believe this. I think that with your mind, you can fight off a cold. And that's what I'm trying to do. I don't believe I'm going to get sick. I am taking Airborne. And I can't deny that there's this sort of achy little feeling in my joints and stuff. And I developed this little cough. I don't know what the hell it's all about, but I'm not... I don't have a runny nose or anything, but damn it, I'm not going to get sick. I'm not going to get sick. That's just the way it is. I'm not getting sick. And the way I'm going to fight it is with a decent bed rest and a good night's sleep. So I'm going to call it quits a little early tonight. Oh, man. Thank you, Girl Patriot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. One of the things I would like to do before we get out of here, it is a Sunday night, and there are a number of people who are in need of our prayers. And I just want to list their names and ask you, if you could, would you say a little prayer for them? Okay? A couple of new ones here. A couple of new ones here that are important. Dang it. I'm not seeing the text that I hope I was going to see. Well, I'm going to have to wing it then. I'm going to have to wing it. A wonderful gentleman, a doctor who took care of me for 5 or 6 years. His name is Dr. David Hagee. David Hagee, a beautiful man. This guy nursed me when I was absolutely at my worst, before I had my back surgery, when I was in pain that you don't even really want to imagine the kind of pain that I went through back in those days prior to my surgery. Dr. Hagee got me through it. He was a brilliant man. He thought outside the box. I just learned that he is on hospice. And sometimes you find out about stuff like this and you just wonder why. Because this man helped so many others. So many others. He's just a few years older than me. I just kind of feel like he's kind of getting the short end of the stick. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I just know that if we pray for him, in some way his burden might be lessened. And hopefully his life extended, because he did so much for other people. Dr. David Hagee, would you remember him in your prayers when you're talking to the man upstairs? If God might just ease his burden during hospice. My heart is aching for this man. He's such a beautiful guy. One of our sisters, Captain Grams. she's not sick or anything. She's in a difficult position. She's in a tough place right now. She is like, how do I put it? She's neither here nor there. She's just been presented with a series of challenges that are, it's no fun. I would ask that we pray for this woman, and whatever challenges are put before her, that she would rise above them, as only she can. Yeah, very, very intelligent woman. If anybody can find her way out of this current situation, I'm sure it is our sister, Captain Grams. But would you pray for her? Pray that she gets strength. Pray that she gets the wherewithal to do what it is she needs to do, and that God's timing reigns supreme on this one. Dear friend of the show, Captain Grams, would you please keep her in your prayers? Our sister Peggy Dancer is here with us tonight. She has she's had a medical challenge for going on a year and a half now. Bitten by an Asian beetle that just kind of wreaked havoc in her body and her system. I would ask you to pray for her, our dear sister Peggy Dancer, that she be made whole, that God would wrap his loving arms around that woman and just bless her, that she be blessed, would be my prayer. I would like to say a prayer ask you to pray for our brothers and sister, Ron and Neo. They recently got married, and Neo is relocated to Canada. I would just ask that God blesses their union, and that God would assist them in there's a small handful of challenges that they're trying to overcome. A place for Neo's mother. I just ask that God would lend his hand in assisting them with the last small handful of challenges that they're up against, and that God blesses them to have a long and happy life together. Two really, really wonderful people. Wonderful people. I wish them all the happiness that this life has to offer. Please keep Ron and Neo in your prayers, would you? Our dear brother, the Batman, is once again down in Florida, or was in Florida. I don't know if he's home yet, but I know that he's visiting his mother, who has showing signs of the onset of either Alzheimer's or perhaps dementia. I just ask that we pray for his mother, and that God knows her needs, he sees her needs, and keeps her healthy, helps her along. I would like to ask the same for our brother Val Kimber, his mother. Please keep Val Kimber's mom in your prayers, that God recognizes her needs and sees to them, and that just in some, I don't care how small a way, her burden is lessened. Our dear sister Sleeping Stars is still up against just like an unseen enemy. She has been seeking alternative, holistic methods of treating just an unknown challenge to her. She has lost a tremendous amount of weight. The lower middle section of her body isn't functioning perfectly. I would ask that we pray for her, and that God wraps his loving arms around that beautiful lady, and that she be healed. I ask that she is healed. Dear friend of this show, a wonderful, wonderful girl right there. Our brother Gary, we got to continue to pray for Gary. Gary has been up and down with his challenges. a dear friend of this program, a dear friend of mine, a guy who would just give the shirt off his back. I would ask that God ease his burden in some small way, that Gary's burden be lessened. Same with our sister Leah Worth. She also, a beautiful lady, a dear friend. Just her day-to-day challenges are just 3 times that of the average person, and she never complains. She never lets on that she's up against it, but folks, she is. Would you keep Leah Worth in your prayers and pray that God blesses her? And you know what's amazing is, on top of everything that she has on her plate, every day she takes care of her elderly mother, who, thank God, moved in next door to her. I think that is, God must have had a hand in that. But I just pray that God blesses the two of them and keeps them both happy and healthy as much as possible. I'm missing my little book, so I'm having moments of darn. There's about 10 more people I want to name. Dave Mick. Dave Mick is a dear friend of ours, battling leukemia. It is going to be a challenge for the rest of his career, but he's up for it. When I last met Dave Mick, he was doing quite well. I would like to ask us to continue to pray for him, that he continues to rise above his challenges, and that God is there holding him by the hand the next time another challenge comes his way, and they will. This is going to be a lifelong challenge for him, but may God bless him and everything that he's got going on. Cherie and Dave Maddox, 2 beautiful people. Dave has been fighting cancer now, and with his wife's help, Cherie is leaving no stone unturned in looking up holistic ways of treating Dave's cancer, to the doctor's amazement. Using just her holistic methods, the cancer in his body has shrunk down to the doctors are just, they're amazed. I know that it's God stepping in and blessing Dave. I would like us to continue to pray for the two of them, that their strength is there each and every day when they need it. Dave and Cherie Maddox, please keep the both of them in their prayers, as well as our dear sister, One Blue Iris. This is a beautiful lady. Robin Tepfer, Robin Murphy, however you know her, please keep her in your prayers. And again, that God wraps his loving arms around this beautiful woman and just eases her burden in whatever way she needs right now. All right, we are going to wander on down the road. It's that time. I'm going to release the scratching over there at Pilled Foxhole. There you go. I have to thank the amazing people who donated over there tonight. Girl Patriot, Salty Nuts, Lieutenant Cooker, Sean Joe, Due Diligence. Oh my goodness, Due Diligence. Sean Joe. Thank you guys so much. Judy the Lady Pug, Girl Patriot. You've been amazing tonight. Thank you so much for your support of this program. And you wonderful souls over there in Lemonland. Let me, you know what? Let me drop a bomb over here. Let me drop a bomb in the treasure chest. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right now. Let's make this a treasure chest worth winning right here. Old Zoe is feeling a little generous tonight. I personally feel blessed with everything God has done for me in my life. And I feel like sharing some of that. So here comes the love, people. Here comes the love. There is a treasure chest headed your way. It is coming at you in 10 seconds. 10 seconds from now, we're going to reap the rewards of the treasure chest. Good luck out there. Good luck. All right. Tonight's luckiest followers are Val Kimber, top of the heap. Jayla 17. TL Spud. Peggy Dancer. And Black Cat 5. Well, congratulations, my friends over there in Lemon Land. How wonderful for you. I'm glad that worked out. I'm glad that worked out. That's awesome. That is awesome. What a beautiful thing. All right. We're going to sneak on out of here. It is that time. I've got somewhere here. There it is. There it is. And let me just call up a little video here. All right. As I get this thing set up, I just want to take a moment to thank the wonderful people who have shown up here tonight. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's been my pleasure to tag along with you. Thanks for joining me. Whoops, I had it perfect. I had it absolutely perfect, and I went and messed it up. Okay, here we go. We're going to sneak on out of here, people. Come on. Where's the sound? Where's my... There they are. There they are. All right. We will see you this coming Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific. Have a great week ahead, my friends. Please remember those souls we spoke about tonight. All of them. Every last one of them. You know what? There's one more person. There's one more person I'd like to add to that list. And that is our friend Mistborn. Mistborn is he's one of our foxholders who recently lost his father. And all I can tell you is, from a personal standpoint, that was one of the most difficult times ever for me in my whole life. Would you pray for our dear brother Mistborn, that he finds peace, solace, and consolation at this most difficult time. I'm sure he is fighting the good fight, but I know that it's going to be a tough few weeks for him. Please keep Mistborn and his family in your prayers if you would. God bless them. God bless them. All right. Now we're ready to sail out of here. Here we go. Here we go. These are our sailors. We've got the manatees in the background. Folks, have yourself a wonderful, wonderful week ahead. Know I love you. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Let's get her done. It's looking like our friend Val Kimber is going to be firing up over at D Live. If you haven't enjoyed the Val Kimber experience over at KMBR Radio, do so. Get over there at VAL_KIMBER. Tell him Zoe sent you. DLive.tv.